100,000, 100,000, number 100,000, number 100,000, number 100, 100,000 dollars. He goes now, bidding for 100,000. I thought he was one of the picks of the high Chaparral. 100,000 goes, bidding for 110. 110.
So you think with a narrow advantage, so you think by a neck from Carlton House, they remain clear, and it's so you think driven out towards the line, who's 2 to 3 lengths clear, and will take his prize money through the £5 million barrier.
So you think, the champion galloper who has done so much to promote the New Zealand bred on the international stage. PENCARROW stud, well, they know how to breed a world-class thoroughbred, and we've previewed a selection of colts from their premier draft.
Well, Leon, we've got the 2013 Karaka sales just around the corner. How would you sum up the draft that you're presenting there this year?
Well, it's our biggest draft, Jane, but I'm happy to say I think it's one of our most even. I think we've got a good line of horses, a good range of types, and hopefully pedigrees that'll suit our major markets. So there's a good variation, but a good consistent line.
Looking ahead to the sales, what are your expectations?
Well, I think there's going to be some challenges. There just has to be with the state of world economies. And also perhaps our markets have been affected a little bit by the success of imported horses, but I think we've still got a good niche there for young staying horses, and we've performed well on the world stage from Royal Ascot, Hong Kong, Singapore, so there's still going to be good demand for nice horses, albeit with some challenges.
Leon, lot 30, the Darci Brahma Battocchi Colt. He does tend to look a little bit like his father. Do you think he's thrown to the Darci Brahma line?
Yes, he's very similar to Darci. He's got, well, his nature as well, but yeah, very strong influence from Darci Brahma there. Battocchi is a mare that's really come to it in the last few years, obviously with Jessipina putting her on the map. But also when we look back, she won the Matriarch at Flemington, and I think at the time we didn't really appreciate what a quality race that was. But obviously now it's really highly regarded. So Battocchi's really forced away up the pecking order in the broodmare band. But he's a very nice, neat horse. He's light on his feet and correct. So no reason why he couldn't be doing something early. But looking back through the dam side, you'd expect him to improve with age.
Lot 132, the Encosta de Lago Ethereal Colt. Look, we haven't seen many of these on offer at the sales. How was the decision made this year to put this one through Karaka?
Well, we always offer our colts for sale, and we've obviously retained fillies from her in the past to try to build up the family. But really this foal was a star from the time he was born. He was a very big foal, great looking horse. He's done very well in the meantime. So he's one of our star lots. We think he'll be really well received. He's a natural sale yearling, he's mature and strong. So he's one of the leaders in the group. He's got a great nature, and for a big horse he's a lovely mover. He's very light on his feet and very easy to handle. I think he's a colt made for yearling sales, and nothing phases him. He's an incredibly good doer, and I'm sure he'll thrive up there.
Lot 218, the O'Reilly Lafleur Colt. Look, you have sold out of this family before at the sales, and they have sold well. What are your expectations with this colt this year?
Yes, it's a very strong pedigree. Lafleur was a very good mare, dual Group 2 winner, and placed behind Bramble Rose in the New Zealand Oaks. A Zabeel mare, so this colt's bred on the same cross as Silent Achiever. He'll be on everybody's list to look at, and I don't think they'll be disappointed. He's a strong horse with good bone, he's a lovely mover, and he's going to present himself really well up there.
Leon, lot 235, the Zabeel Lycia Colt. Look, what is it about this horse's makeup that you think is going to appeal to the buyers?
Yes, well, he's really bred along classic staying lines, being out of a Monture mare, but also from the 8 Carat family, and we know Zabeel's crossed so well with this family in the past. So I think that'll be his appeal as a young staying horse. He's got a lovely nature. He thinks he's pretty good, so I hope the buyers will as well. and very possibly he could be the last Zabeel yearling that we're able to offer at sale, because we've got 2 fillies on the ground that we'll retain, and we don't have a mare and foal to him this year. I think he's very typical of Zabeel's best stock, and he's maturing all the time. He's really come on in the last couple of months, and in the 12 months after the sales, I think we're going to see a really handsome, strong colt there.
Leon, lot 282, the High Chaparral, our Echezeaux. Look, this family has led the way for PENCARROW stud. How do you describe a pedigree like this to buyers?
Well, fortunately it's there for them to see, but there's little things that can be overlooked. For instance, this mare's only had 2 to the races. Both of them are group-winning fillies, and both of them got a lot in front of them, I believe. No, it's quality all the way. She's a Zabeel mare, great stallions represented in the family, and genuine quality black type. A lovely horse to do anything with. He's got lots of quality, but he's really furnished up in the last 3 months. I think he's going to be a very strong horse, and he's got a great nature as well. So look, I think he just ticks all the boxes, and I'm sure he'll be well received.
A man now who has had tremendous success buying from the draft of PENCARROW stud. You need only think about the likes of Darci Brahma. His 2012 Premier Sales leading buyer David Ellis. Kiwi Bred caught up with David and we spoke to him about his preparations for the 2013 sale.
Well, David, you've been a pretty dominant buyer at the New Zealand Bloodstock Karaka sales for over a decade. What is it that makes you keep going back to these sales year after year?
I think it's pretty simple. It's the success that we've had out of the sale means that our clients want me to go back and buy more horses, and they're enjoying the fun of racing at Group 1 level, and I think that's really the reason. It comes down to the success that we've had out of the sale.
How would you describe the quality of the bloodstock that's being produced in New Zealand by New Zealand breeders?
Well, I think New Zealand breeders measure up really to any breeders that I've seen in the world. We breed horses like Ocean Park that can win Group 1 races at 1600, 2000, 24. I think the old days of New Zealand has been regarded as breeding Dow stayers are probably well and truly finished. We're breeding horses that can compete internationally at most distances.
The results that you've seen from Te Akau racing over the last 12 months, does that encourage you to keep going back to these sales and buy?
Oh, for certain. And last year we won 2 Group 1 races, both with colts that we'd bought from Karaka, and with Warhorse won the Diamond Stakes at Ellerslie, and Rock and Pop won the 2000 Guineas, and that gives our owners the confidence to want to reinvest at Karaka.
Well, you were pretty active in the 2012 sale, buying the top colt of the sale, the Fastnet Rock Nuriev's Girl. What's the update on him, and how's he progressing into a racehorse?
Well, he's just been through the education process at this stage. He's grown into a beautiful colt. He's had 2 weeks pre-training here at the farm with my son, and he's really grown into an above average size colt with plenty of natural muscle and strength, and I'll be really surprised if he's not a really good horse. Everything that he's done to date is encouraging, and certainly along the lines of Darci Brahma and Burgundy and Rock and Pop, those sort of colts, we certainly expect him to measure up to them.
2013 sales are rolling around really quickly. When do your preparations begin for the sales?
In October we start going through pedigrees of horses that are in the sale, and in December we went down through the central districts and started looking at the yearlings, and at this time of the year Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. We're away looking at the yearlings, and it's a busy time of the year, but it's a time of the year that I really enjoy.
Based on what you've seen from other years, how would you describe the strength of this year's catalogue?
Well, I think New Zealand Bloodstock did a great move reducing the premier sale, and now it is a catalogue with a hell of a lot of good quality in it, and I think definitely it compares with what we've seen in previous years.
What are you looking for? What type of horse is it that Te Akau Racing is looking for?
A Group 1 horse, and they're not as easy to find as you think. Group 1 horses come in all shapes and sizes, but you've got to have a horse that's correct and is going to be sound so that he can take the racing, so that you can get him fit enough to win Group 1 races. And if you're going to have, we try and have horses that can race successfully at 2 and 3, and you've got to have a horse that can sustain a certain amount of pressure as a young horse to be able to do that. This year I've set my mind on buying a couple of champions, and I think they're there, and we're certainly going to give it our best shot. I'm thrilled with the catalogue, thrilled with the individuals, and I think they'll represent very good buying this year.
Te Akau Racing chases more black type this weekend when Catalonia lines up in the Karaka Million. The Command's Colt was bought by David Ellis from the 2012 Premier Sale for $150,000. Catalonia was offered for sale from Haunui Farm's Premier Draft and is out of the stakes-winning mare Valpolicella. Te Akau trainer Jason Bridgman has prepared the colt for this weekend's assignment.
I think as a specimen, he was a very strong, powerfully built colt for his age, and he certainly had that real precocity as far as physique was concerned. And from day one, this horse, he had that real natural affinity as a racehorse. He just came out, did everything very, very naturally from his jump outs through to his first few trials, and he really put that his hand up as that kind of early 2-year-old type.
Gateway appearing 3 off the rail. Further out is Altai Rose and running on. Also Eastern Dragon down the outside. Further back Total Response. Catalonia burst to the lead at the 100 metres mark now by a length and a half. Going clear from Gateway. Running on Total Response and Altai Rose, but away goes Catalonia. Catalonia bolted in. Second over was Gateway ahead of Total Response. Then came Altai Rose.
He's been a very promising type of horse, and on occasions he's probably gone a couple of more below par runs, but through circumstances. But I think more of that's a reflection of his pedigree, where he probably wants to go a little bit further. But he's a very natural and willing colt for his age, and I expect him just to keep improving with age as well. He's a horse that we don't have to do an awful lot with, and I think there'll be good improvement with a bit further spacing between runs. And as I say before, he's probably looking for a step up in trip already. But on the fresh side, he should go a very good race again on the million. It won't be a case of doing an awful lot, probably prepare him like we had 2 weeks between runs, except that it's been 4 weeks, and that'll just allow him to come back and get that bounce back in his stride and be really willing to go out and sprint. We're going to need a good strong tempo in the race. I think if it was a walk and sprint, it's going to be against him. He certainly needs good strong tempo to make it more of a staying sort of a test. Make sure that they run every metre of that 1200 metres, and that would suit him. And I think a little bit of moisture would also aid his chances, because that would angle towards more of a stamina side of the race. So they'll be the two things that we'd be looking for in the million to make him competitive.